Okay, I think I'm on. All right, guys. Hello, Asa. Thank you for reporting for attendance. I'm taking attendance today, so whoever showed up, my best friend. Who doesn't? Worst enemy ever. Just kidding. Um. Anyway, so what are we doing today? Oh, actually, I have not. I'm feeling much better today. So knock on wood that it's gonna stay that way. So I'm not quite sure how long I'm gonna be here, but hey, if I feel good, I might be here for a long time. Who knows? Um, not quite sure how many topics I could cover today. Guys, not much here, okay? Price action, not too much. Hold on, let me see if I could find the chart real quick. Arabibaga. Not sure how many people gonna be here. Hopefully everyone's doing well and happy. It's Friday. I'm sure people will go out. Right now it's a bit gloomy over here where I live, so I feel like maybe tomorrow. Who knows? Who knows? All right, so let's talk about the price. Of course, we know that it's like, max pain, right? To be expected every time there's max pain. Price action here, you see a lot of that is happening. Market maker, right? And they have to. What can you do to GameStop at this point? You cannot let it go over 30. You know why? Because then gamma ram, then the calamity that's happening. But yeah, they have to keep it under 30 for sure. So let's look at the max pain real quick. There you go. Magic, right? It's almost like magic. This is what it is. It's just magic. Magically close below 30. And again, like that's why when you see 30, 35, 37 pre-market at one point this week or last week, they have to immediately bring it down to 30, because if they let it go to 37, 34, gamma ram, right? This is what gamma ram is. And gamma ram doesn't mean that just because it's potent, to go towards gamma ram doesn't mean that it's going to happen. It's because of the structure that the market maker allowed to, allow that. I mean, that the market allows, market maker to manipulate the price at will, right? And so long as the market is still operating in this, manner, it's not gonna change much. Okay, so they will always have the upper hand, but not to say the doom and gloom or anything like that. I'm just saying that is just the structure of the market. Now, supply and demand will kicks in at one point in time, at some point in time, right? And at some point, they cannot deny that. So long as the volume doesn't, get out of hand, they will be able to control the price. So it has to be overwhelming to them, the volume that happens now. Remember, back in 2021, you could see the massive amount of people trading in and out of the stock, right? So volume is very important when it comes to that price action that we're all looking for, the MOAS status or whatever, right? If you look at the volume over here, right, you could see you need that type of overwhelming, trading volume to see that spike again. Not to say that it won't come. It's just that it had the earning has to be like, oh my god, type thing, right? And so it's coming. I don't know again whether it's going to be this earnings report or the next earnings report. All I'm saying is that to prepare for earnings, I watch Tetron Invest too, so he did a pretty good analysis on those type of speculation, and I kind of agree with him in that sense too, where no matter what the news is, it seems like they could still control the price. Yes, they might let it go, IV going high, spike, and all that stuff, just to entice people to buy into call options. Now, full disclosure, I do have some call options here. I know I'm not immune to that, but I also know that that is a very high possibility that I will lose every dollar that I put on my calls, right? The reason why I'm not, like so nonchalant about that is because like that's, reserved for the account that I reserve for just playing options, right? Now, thank goodness I have not lost, substantially. Thank goodness I've made some money on that. But typically I don't hold my calls very long at all. I don't, um, I don't diamond hand it or whatever. So yes, right now, I have some months. I picked a pretty long dated one. So I'm not playing like the weekly options or anything like that, because that's even more risky than the, monthly options. But typically I give myself at least 2 months to play for it to play out. And also very close to the strike price as well. Right now I have the 32 strike price, and yeah, it's down like 40% already. Ivy crush, right? So that's it's growing pain for sure. But hopefully, again, if leading up to the earnings report, we're gonna see some spike here and there just to entice people that call options will appreciate, hopefully, right? So that's always like the gambles that call option owners will have to go through. Also too, hey, I have the position already. I've been accumulating, as you all know, and right now I'm still waiting on crypto to spike. My speculation is that crypto is gonna spike before GME, but I've been trapped in crypto for quite some time, so I'm a bit antsy in that, a bit disappointed in my prediction. But hey, this is just the nature of prediction, right? But I'm still bullish on crypto. I'm still bullish on GME for sure. This space has been, I guess, a growth story that I wanted to kind of positioning myself towards that. Now, of course, with the money printing, right, the big beautiful bill coming in, expected to even add to the debt again. So it seems like they cannot do anything except to spend more. And whether we're going to default on the loan or not, that's not going to happen. And the idea is that they cannot pay the debt. So what the one thing that they could do is to expand that, adding more and more. So that's good for crypto. That's good for Bitcoin. And I know, like, again, to me, that's why I understand Bitcoin to be. Even though there's no CEO, I know I heard um, Morantz said that this morning. It's like, there's no CEO. It's like, okay, I mean, that's the whole point of this decentralized, financial system. Eventually, people are gonna catch on to it. Right now, it seems like so out there for people to even understand it, and that yeah, I mean, perhaps this has been a plan all along to get people on the digital train, right? And that's the solution to, always keep printing money in order to pay off the old debt, right? So what do they need? What do they need to solve that problem, which is Bitcoin? And that's why, again, every institution now are, jumping on board. Perhaps, again, and originally they didn't understand it. And now that they understand that, oh, hey, we can really offload those loans or those debt onto, crypto people, right? Or crypto people. They crypto. What I'm saying is like we could have a new way of kind of releasing that pressure of printing money, and that Bitcoin can be the solution. And of course, other technology that comes along with blockchain technology too, where, there's so many solutions out there that they could use in order to offload some of these burden of always having to print. But unfortunately, when you measure everything with the dollar, everything's going to go to be more expensive when you measure it against the dollar. But if you measure it against Bitcoin, right, everything's going to be cheaper. Depends on how many Bitcoins you have or crypto, right? Now, of course, every crypto doesn't mean that it's going to be good, every single one. You have to make sure you understand which crypto you are picking. To me, I'm picking the most sound fundamental ones. And right now, it just so happened to be XRP and XLM. So, not advocating you guys to, buy it or anything like that. Do your own research, because that's, that's the best route to be if you want to get involved in that. So you might say it's a scam or whatever. You could still feel that way, but if institutions are, getting into it and trying to get you to buy into it because they already bought it, it might have some value for you to even try to consider it a little bit here. So again, it's not a solution to fit all types of humans out there, but I think like if you understand the implication of inflation and that the debt crisis that we have right now, it's kind of scary. When I heard Moran said, shout out to Moran, by the way, I still love him. He's correct about GME, but I think he's incorrect about Bitcoin here. The thing is, like, when I hear him said Bitcoin needs people to buy into Bitcoin, no, I don't think Bitcoin needs anyone. It's just a protocol, of computer code, ledgers, and all that stuff to keep track how much Bitcoin somebody has. And so when you measure it against the dollar, right, because the dollar becomes cheaper, less expensive, then when you measure it against Bitcoin, right, Bitcoin becomes more expensive because of that. So again, that's just the function of, big world governments printing money. And so every, big powers out there, that's all they could do. So what happened? More money's in the system. And when rich people have money to to do whatever they need to do, typically that's why asset went up in price, right? Because they have way too much money, because they print $4 trillion at a time, and that $4 trillion has to go somewhere. Okay. So typically Bitcoin, see a big spike when all these rich people who have trillions of dollars who doesn't know what to do with, right? So they buy Bitcoin, they buy real estate, they buy, typically they buy real estate, they buy gold, they buy silver, they buy, physical stuff that cannot be diluted so quickly as the fiat currency. So that's the whole point of what Bitcoin is trying to solve. Now, Bitcoin is not the only asset, but since it is a kind of new asset class, people could trade it everywhere, right? It's so available, it's global, so it's bound to have that price action where people think it's a scam, right? And again, this is the consensus, right, process of getting people to agree to whether, hey, if you agree with Bitcoin narrative, then yes, you're most likely to buy into Bitcoin. And then as time goes on, right, when more and more people are becoming more educated about it, now hopefully by that time it's not $100 million already. Hopefully by the time you understand it, it's not too late. But again, even with that, you could buy one Satoshi at a time, right? So the whole idea is that if one Satoshi become $1, then that means one Bitcoin would be $100 million. So you could still spend Satoshi, right, if you wanted to, but that's the whole idea. So whether that's going to come like within this whole decades or not, that's remain to be seen. Right now you could buy Bitcoin under $1 million, right? So when Bitcoin was under $1, it was a scam. When Bitcoin is $1,000, it was a scam. $10,000 is a scam. $100,000 is a scam. So people are gonna keep saying that until most people agree that no, it's not actually a scam, right? So I don't know. Again, Michael Saylor, talk about it extensively if you want to understand Bitcoin in that level. But again, as the saying, like people who own Bitcoin for quite some time, they said that people will buy Bitcoin at the price they deserve. Okay, so it just means that whatever price that you buy into, it's a function of how late you are into the game. So let's see stuff here again. I thought I was doing better, but man, every time like nightfall, I feel it's coming again. Let me take a sip of water here. Anyway, so Bitcoin centric, right? It seems as though it is Bitcoin centric today, but not really. You could see that the price of GME right here. I mean, what what else can I say about this company? I mean, you know all that you need to know about this company already. As far as the price point, I'm still looking for that gap fill, for a quick gap fill here. Now, if we are bouncing off of this as a support, that's pretty substantial, right? So it means that we have flipped, a long-term price grinding, just doing nothing at all, and flip it into support. So that's a pretty positive development. If we trade down, of course, the speculation is that Roaring Kitty is going to come back. His birthday is coming soon in 2 days. So this Sunday, I'm sure if he's going to post, it would be on his birthday. Who knows, huh? Speculation. Anyway, so with that thought though, I feel good about that. I feel good. For my 2 call options sake, it better work out. Anyway, so right now I am pretty optimistic about the future of this company for sure. I don't know if they're gonna be adding more Bitcoin. I wouldn't mind if they do. That would be great to see. Most importantly, though, I want to see the price in which they bought that Bitcoin for and when they bought that Bitcoin for. Another thing that I would love to see is the positive EPS, and I don't imagine that we're not going to be positive. I really think that we're going to be profitable. It's just a matter of the degrees, how much, right? Is it $1 million, $2 million, $3 million? But even then, we are definitely gonna have some, interest, from those cash that we held. It's pretty safe to assume that it is close to $50 million a year. Sorry, $50 million? Is it a year? Hold on, let me double check. I'm trying to look at. Ooh, all of a sudden, stuffy nose again. Pretty annoying. Okay, so let's go back to the. I should have this memorized, you guys. Like, but it's actually good for people to see it with their own eyes. If I ever just memorize it, people are gonna like, what? You make things up again, right? You're just making numbers up in your mind. GME don't make that much money on interest. Yes, we make that much money on interest per quarter. So pretty safe to say that it's close to $50 million a quarter. Sorry, a quarter for just interest alone. Okay. Now, free cash flow, amazing balance sheets, right? Now, people again, they are going to spin it the way that they want to spin it. That compared to Michael's strategy, the fact that they're comparing us to strategy, it's like a company that is bigger right now in market cap is comical, right? At this very least, it's like, oh, at least Michael's strategy only trade 1 to whatever, right? We're trading 2 to 1 Bitcoin holding and all that stuff. So again, they just any type of negativity they could throw at us. They've been throwing at us for so long. So I wouldn't be surprised if they're gonna find something in this earnings report. Of course, revenue. We might still be taking a hit on revenue because we closed the Canadian stores and all that stuff, and I'm thinking about France as well. So we're gonna see that store closure, but hopefully the expenses will cover that quite a bit. Now we see a lot of people lining up to get the Switch 2. Pretty fun to see that people are actually shopping at GameStop. Now I know there's this stapler incident that is happening. People complaining. It's like, oh my god, these people are just monstrous. How can you make this mistake of stapling into there we go. Guys, like, it seems like it's the fact that it makes news too. It's like very funny to me to hear that about the staple. And then also to see like they address that already here. Pretty funny, but again, they make good on it. They receive some free collectible items. game or whatever. So as a constellation, uh, you know, because they mess up the switch. So company is pretty aware of these type of, issue where, anything that GME or GameStop doing incorrectly. Because again, this is very normal, you guys. Like retail has messed up a whole bunch of stuff, charge people twice, and this type is just human error, and it happens all the time in retail. And all you have to do is just say, look, you damaged my thing, and can you return? I mean, can you refund it, right? And typically they will refund it and they will give you a new one. So it shouldn't be a front page new cycle. But again, I'm telling you, that's why it's so overhyped anytime that they are making some mistakes here. And of course, they make fun of each other. I mean, they are aware of these type of events too, where people just go out to every local GameStop just to get a free Red Bull, and so they're like, we will never recover from this, right? So they're poking fun at each other of their own marketing here. That hey, perhaps we should have some verification that before you give people a Red Bull, make sure that they are actually purchasing those first, right? So it's pretty funny. And again, this is why, this company is going to do well, because they understand their customer base pretty well. And then we, pretty laid back here. But again, the news just keep trying to poke the bear over here, right? But let them poke. I mean, that's all they could do, right? We're just chilling over here. Revenue down, profit up. I'll take it. Yes, of course. That's always gonna be what we're expecting. Hey Carter, what's up? Feeling better today? Well, I'm trying to. I thought I was, but then now I'm sniffling again. What's happening to me? But thank you for asking, though. Much better than yesterday, though. Even though it's plucked up, I could still talk and audible noise and breathe a little bit, so it's not too bad. But what I did is I drink some hot clove tea. I don't know if you guys have had clove before. It's pretty good. It's helping me with the sinuses and stuff. So I heard it from somewhere. I was like, well, let me try it. And it actually effective. And if you bite into the clove, I know it's an acquired taste. But if you chew into it and kind of keep it in for a couple of seconds, it actually releases some mucus. So I don't know why it's so effective, but that's what I've been doing. I should have more, actually. Anyway, so as I was saying, this type of news is so comical to me. Makes me laugh every time. But anyway, it's actually a free publicity, actually. Like, the way that I think about it, this type of negative news, it's a free publicity for people to be like, really? Is that big of a deal for it to be on the front page news? Anyway, so okay, so this is what I did. Oh, I didn't even realize this is my own Twitter account, you guys. What the heck? I was like, oh yeah, I did something like this too. On reputation, okay? We do care about reputation here. That's why we address this pretty quickly, when these type of things is being posted and then people are just talking about it everywhere, right? That we're the terrible monster over here, that as a retailer, how dare we staple something and make that type of mistake. That's crazy. Clove tea is good. My kid. Oh, cool, cool, cool. I thought you were sick. Hey, that might contribute to my problem too. Of course, of course. Yeah, I mean, I'm not scared of it, because I don't have that many Bitcoin. But I'm scared because I have a lot of XRP now. If Bitcoin goes like 1%, right? XRP gonna be like 2, 3, 4, 5% down. So of course, it's much scarier to own altcoin when Bitcoin goes down. But the opposite will happen at some point because again, to me, I'm betting on the altcoin season coming out. But even without altcoin season, right? The token that I hold, I have high conviction on that because I think that there's some utility in that. That's why I hold it. And with conviction, sleep like a baby. I don't care, what's happening to the short-term price action. Because I know, if it's useful, it's going to be used for, the future financial system. And the way that it is setting up right now, with the banks are getting into it and all that stuff, they are trying to scare as many people as possible before they get into it. This is always the trick of the institutional, involvement. Before they tell you don't buy it. It's a scam, right? And now everybody just stampeding because again, it's an opportunity for them. But before they stampede into buying into any crypto, any Bitcoin, any of that, they have to scare retail investor as much as they can to sell Bitcoin because of the fear, because of hyper, whatever, double top, as you said, like the technical, what is it, the technical analysis people, right? They would be like, oh yeah, this is the top, double top. And then what happened? The next month, whatever was released, China trade deals happening, and then boom, right? 20% up in a day. It happens, I'm telling you. And it will happen to Bitcoin too, especially with all of the, Bitcoin treasury company has been crazy. Even just Michael Saylor alone, right? He's gonna buy a whole bunch more. So with the supply being depleted and limited, that's what we are expecting. But or when I said we, it's nobody behind me or anything. Like I have no lawyers behind me, nothing. Just the expectation is that eventually it's gonna play out. So my point is, even if it comes down to whatever, I'm thinking the most drop 80,000 maybe this time around. Sorry. Oh. Anyway, so I remember talking about this one where this is the bounce. I mean, what other lines can I draw? This line. I know. This is top notch technical analysis over here. So, there you go. Right? So it could bounce off of here and then off we go. A fake double top, as you say there, Carter. So there you go, fake double top. Trying to get people to go bear. And what happened usually is little wig, boom. There you go. That's my expectation. I mean, you know, you don't have to pay for this. This is top notch for sure. It's gonna happen. Okay. Just take it to the bank. Um, but no, I mean, I think, if you want to do a short term here, how much of it retracement? Okay, around here, or even here, 50%. Again, depends on the news, right? If Elon and Trump are still fighting, what do you know? I mean, come on. I used to smoke those clove cigarette. What? There's a clove cigarette? Really? Wow. That's actually healthy for you, right? It should be. I mean, it's not nicotine or anything. But come to find out, actually, nicotine is good for you. It's the stuff that they lace in the cigarette, that they put additive to the nicotine that makes it bad. So, nicotine in of itself, I don't think. Well, this is what I heard. I'm not a doctor or anything, but it's not addictive. It's the stuff that the company adding to make you addicted to it. So yeah, so nicotine has a bad rap, but apparently it's good for joint pain. That's what I heard. I don't have a joint pain myself, so I wouldn't know. Growing up in Cambodia too, is I see my aunt actually, they use those tobacco and they just put it, inside their the cheek, and that's how they go about their day. What's it? Tobacco leaf, like, it's funny. Is everyone assuming the cost base of assuming the cost base for GME Bitcoin is over 100,000? I may be mistaken, but I haven't seen anything concrete. Of course, I'm assuming that they bought over here, right? Somewhere. After they raised the money to buy it, and that's around the time that they did it. So I'm hopeful that we actually bought it down here. But even at $100,000, it's still cheap, in my opinion, right? Mark my word. 4 years from now, $100,000 would be cheap. I'm telling you. I am calling it. Right now, it seems like, oh my gosh, it's so much. No. Remember, we're printing $4 trillion onto this balance sheet the next 4 years. So with that debt spiral, right? Something gotta give. So those extra money is gonna pour in somewhere. And imagine, right? How many billionaires are out there? Is it less than 21 million? Is it less than 21 million billionaires out there? If that's the case, every single millionaire cannot own one Bitcoin. So let that sink in, right? I'm telling you, that's a scarcity that's why MicroStrategy, that's why MicroSailor, it's like, I'm gonna accumulate as much as I can, because eventually people are gonna caught on to what this actually is, and then you won't be able to buy one Bitcoin, let alone 500,000 Bitcoin, right? So it's crazy. So now GME has 4,000 something. So if 4,000 millionaires wants one Bitcoin, they have to go and search it for someone somewhere. And so inevitably, in order to get one Bitcoin, you have to raise the price to meet people, to meet the seller. If let's say $100,000 is too cheap for people to sell, they're not going to sell it to you because they think it's going to be a $1 million coin. And so they're going to hold out until $1 million. You might say that, oh my goodness, it's going to take a lifetime. You might be mistaken, right? It might just be 10 years from now or even this year. Pipe dream? They keep saying it's a pipe dream all the time. So, and again, like, it's just a matter of time when people agree with that narrative. The same way with GME. It's so hard to convince people, you guys. I'm telling you, people think that they're smarter. People think that they are, they don't know how to really have that conviction, right? And so they need some people, they need either the price action to validate themselves. It's like if the price is too low, they don't want to buy it. Only if the price goes higher, then they're like, oh my goodness, like everybody's buying it, so I have to buy it. When you're supposed to be selling, when everybody's buying, right? So do the opposite of the crowd for sure, and you'll be inevitably coming ahead. With GME too, the same way. It's hard to convince people to believe that GME is something. So it might take us a longer time than Bitcoin to actually, becoming that juggernauts of price action here. So again, as long as less people are in the know about the company whereabouts and bankrupts and prospect of bankruptcy still looming in people's mind. And half of the people honestly don't even know what the company is doing or who's the CEO, right? You'd be surprised how many people actually don't know that. So, my thought is it might take us another 5 years in order to realize the price potential, right? Now, thank goodness we add Bitcoin into our balance sheet, so we're gonna kind of mimic what Bitcoin is doing too. Depends on who you are. You might think that it's a bad thing to, associate yourself with Bitcoin or associate your company with the price action of Bitcoin. But actually, we need some volatility here for sure, right? As a company, price action doesn't do much to us, but volatility is very dangerous for short sellers for sure. You know this. Everybody knows this, and that's why GME is so potent to run, and people are on edge over here, just waiting for that to happen. So we need to break through 30 for sure, and then 34, right, and then off to the race again. So get ready. I don't know if this is the catalyst that we're looking for, which is June 10, Tuesday. EPS going higher for sure. What is that? Hold on, let me do some math here, because I feel that math is needed in this stream for sure. So they're saying 8 cents per share. 8 cents per share. How many shares do we have? I think we're closer to this, right? Okay. So they're saying we are going to make, $36 million, okay, from on the verge of bankruptcy to $36 million estimate. That's a pretty good, Pretty good estimate there. I'll take that. I'll take that. So 36 million. I think we're gonna beat that for sure. Come on. I mean, just the interest payment, right? 50 million already. So I don't imagine us losing. See how much? Losing for $14 million. Not sure, huh? I mean, is it possible? Is it possible? Anything possible. Now I'm thinking too, like because we have an additional $1.5 billion, so that small amount of money can add it to the interest payment too. Like it depends, like if we actually use the whole 1.5 billion and then sit on it for quite a bit before buying into Bitcoin, right? So that quite a bit of time that we sit on $1.5 billion from the convertible notes is going to generate something at least, right? I can't imagine they just leave it in cash rather than marketable security. So instead of 54, what is it, $54 million in interest, we might come up to be 60 billion dollars in interest just accruing. But I mean, look, so we might come out to be 6 billion, 60 billion, 60 billion. Oh my goodness, billion. Yeah, billion. Sure, later on for sure. So I would imagine we come out ahead, beat the earnings per share, less expenses, more Bitcoin into the balance sheets. Pretty good. I'm happy with Bitcoin purchases, friends. Is making sure we're covered all angle and economic uncertainty. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's a hedge. He said it. I think he understand that it's a if the market cap of gold competing with gold, Bitcoin is better than gold, right? He understand that the younger population's gonna most likely to buy Bitcoin rather than gold, right? So younger and younger population's gonna do that. Whether that is a generational thing, I think it plays. I mean, yes, younger people could buy golds too, but the point is that it's so easily accessible. It's so easily liquid, right? You could send $1 billion worth of Bitcoin anywhere in the world versus sending $1 billion worth of gold, physically there somewhere. So it's easily. And then on top of that, it's traded 24 hours. So you're always going to be able to move, like $10 billion at a time and move it at the speed of light. Come on. That's the technology that is useful in Bitcoin, the portability of it, right? That's what Ryan Cohen's saying. So the fact that he knows that much, I am so impressed. I made a reaction video. I don't know how many people have been seen that one. I deleted it because it didn't have any audio on Ryan Cohen's side. So, but pretty impressed that he learned about much. I'm sure he did it when he met Michael Saylor, and talked about it. Who knows what they were talking about? But I'm sure he was trying to learn as much as he can about the network and how safe it is and how to custody it and all that stuff, right? Self-custodians and all that stuff, so that your Bitcoin is not rehypothecating into some third party that you don't even know owns anything. Right? So that's the problem that we have in the traditional market, is that you don't know who owns what, right? And then if they have short positions and all that stuff. They are, because of the connection that they have, they are likely to have a lenient on that. It's like, okay, uh, you don't have to pay that $10 billion worth of collateral. And then they just make that decision right away. That's what happened in removal the buy button, right? Back then too. Is that because they agree not to pay the 10 billion, Robinhood has to stop the buy. Right? Sure. So the point is that, with Bitcoin, you don't have to, with self custody anyway, you don't have to worry about the third party. The only thing that you have to worry about is you misplacing the seed spray, or somebody steal the seed spray from you. So that's the only thing. But right now they have institutional grade, custodianship of a multi-signature type thing, where, not for institutional, to make sure that Bitcoin doesn't move unless all these multi-sig people agree to move it. So it's just another layer of security. So, but anyway, so my point is that, with Bitcoin here, just holding some is enormously ahead of the game already. So another decade, people are gonna think, whether you're into Bitcoin or not, you're gonna thank Ryan Cohen later, for sure, for sure. If you hold the share long enough, who knows? Anyway, let's go. Restart the stream now. Oh, okay. Are you playing it back? You better play me like in the 2x speed, gonna catch up. But thank you, man. And because I can't, but so what's up? Trust I watched the video. Thank you so much for that. I know, I was so excited to see the the interview. I was like so surprised. I was like, what? I did not know. I was just watching the conference, Bitcoin conference, just for fun, because I didn't have anything to do at the time. And I was like, okay, let me just watch. And then I was actually in the bathroom, like, not gonna tell you what I do. Was in why do I tell the story? Should I even tell the story? Nah, just kidding. So I was in the restroom, and then I was like hearing it in my what is it, Bluetooth, right? I don't have the screen with me, and I heard his voice. I was like, is this a prank or something, or a commercial of some sort? It's like, why am I hearing Ryan Cohen's voice? Because they were like doing something on, like, I saw JD Van, I saw, and JD Van came before Ryan Cohen. And so after JD Van, they were like doing something. So I just thought, it's like, why is Ryan Cohen speaking right now? This is unreal. And so I went back out and make that video a couple minutes later. But anyway, and so excited for it. Didn't even check to see if you guys could hear the sound. But yeah, I might redo the reaction. But hey, it is what it is. It's the beauty of going live sometime. Okay, so anyway, just a fun story there. Just came back from Gamestop. There's a polo shirt. Wow, nice. I have way too much t-shirts, you guys. Like, I feel like a hoarder at some point. I really need to declutter. Too much stuff. Too much stuff. I know this culture, right? But yeah, I wouldn't mind. I wouldn't mind owning a black polo T-shirt from Pokemon's from GameStop. Is it GameStop brand though? Like, does it have GameStop? You know, um, logo on it? Because I can. Um. Anyway, let's see. What else? Mm, mm, oh, switch gear a little bit here. I know you guys know about the institutional ownership, still at 40%, right there. Um, Now, okay, this is just crazy. Okay, let me come back. What the heck was that? Okay, I'm trying to. Okay, what? What am I doing? Ay, crazy. Sorry, I'm just clicking all over the place over here. Okay, let's go back over here. Okay, my trusty moonbag speculation on price here. Um, Guys, I'm just again ballpark, right? Hey, if it's $1,000, $3,000 a share, of course, wink, wink. But I really think it's not gonna happen until all this happens. So we had it quite a bit already, right? So fundamentally improved. We're still trying to get to this point right here. And of course S&P, that's a given. Dividends and all that stuff. So might quite be a longer time than we thought it's going to be, but I mean, till then happens, right? You get to see all the floor rising, as the price as time goes on. So these are just what I have when they were raising cash, selling at certain price. So we used to raise close to $1 billion at $20, and then 2 billion at 28, and then this past $1.5 billion for the convertible notes, and I put it at close to $30. And this is just a conversion. Okay, this is just a conversion. So technically, we did sell it for that amount. If you take into account, the bonds and all that stuff. So, and currently we are Bitcoin per share, right? That's going to be a new metric that we're going to have right now, where yes, Bitcoiners going to search for this type of thing. So the next generation of stock advisor, okay, this is 10 years, 20 years from now, when people are like, in their 30s, they're like, okay, what kind of stocks do I want to buy? And then they're going to be like, okay, look, GME has, Bitcoin per shares, and, this is a good place to be. But anyways, I'm just saying, new metric to really, again, that's a point of sale for sure. Especially for people who own Bitcoin, right? That's what they're gonna try to evaluate. And of course, MicroStrategy kind of advanced that too, where growth for how many Bitcoin can they accumulate in that period of time, and how many Bitcoin can shareholder per share they will get. And every time they buy Bitcoin, right? Bitcoin per share tend to come up. Up and down, depends on the dilution as well. But right now, guys, like MicroStrategy has other ways to buy Bitcoin rather than diluting. Okay. So he found a way, which is giving the bond market, the fixed income. Okay, fixed income bond market. It's pretty smart, you guys, like so that they don't have to dilute shareholder, right? But of course, with that fixed income, they are using the the Bitcoin that they have right now in order to make the collateral happens. And the trust, right? If people trust that they do own that many Bitcoin, yes, short sellers gonna try to, make their case, and longs are gonna try to make their case in terms of, okay, how many Bitcoin can he accumulate this time around, and how long can this train be, leveraged to that extent. But I really think this is the opportunity. Okay, but anyway, coming back to Bitcoin per share here. This is a new metric, so we are at close to 1,000, a little bit over 1,000 Satoshi per share. Okay, this is what it reads. This many Bitcoin per share, this many Satoshi per share, and 100 Satoshi is per Bitcoin. One Bitcoin is 100 million Satoshi, sorry, per Bitcoin. So that's how the units of it, okay? Just go with it, Meaning that this is actually good. You have some Bitcoin per share. That's going to be the new metric for the next 20 years. Let's see. So yes, they are buying Bitcoin. It's no longer a speculation, and they are adding it to their balance sheets. This is still a speculation, obviously. NFT marketplace, I'm trying to will it to happen again. But I really think that they're gonna wait for the regulation on stable coins and all that stuff. And if that's happening, and they're able to come up with that clear rules and regulations on what is a security, what isn't a security, that's going to open up that floodgate for sure. And that platform is easily could be turned back on. Okay. And again, with the PSA 2, come on, you guys, like these two could combine, or even these three could be combined, where instead of buying Bitcoin, we could just accept Bitcoin onto the NFT marketplace. Like people could, typically they don't, use Bitcoin for anything, right? But if they are, if they think that certain NFT or collectible digital NFT is more valuable than Bitcoin, they might exchange some Bitcoin for that NFT and said, and so if we are the one who exchange it, then we get to hold Bitcoin while they get to hold that NFT. Simple, right? So another point of sale for sure. Another reason for people to buy into GameStop for sure. Anyway. I think I'm kind of lightheaded a little bit. Getting a bit lightheaded. Anyway, I'm okay though. Okay. So let's see. Circle when IPO and look at the price. Look at the market cap. Like, is this justified? Of course not. Look at the PE ratio, right? And this is okay. Here's the point I'm trying to make. Anytime they want to sell something to you, IPO is always overvalued. I'm telling you, right? And that's why I'm telling you, if GME were to IPO'd with the balance sheet that we have today, right? You wouldn't see GME at $30. No. You know what the bank would sell it to you at? At least 5 times that. 6 times, 7 times, even 10 times that. Okay, and so it's comical to me that people are like, "Oh, GME is not worth this much and this much," right? But a company that's just IPO'd is this much, okay, and has a revenues under $2 billion. Yes, they are net income positive. What, $18 million? Look at the PE ratio, right? So nobody complained about that at all, right? PE ratio. But look at this. Look at this. I want you to listen to this real quick.
Look, I have to ask the question, was too much money left on the table? It's now trading at 109. Did the bankers get the price just too low here?
Well, thank you for having me. But look, nobody knows how some of these stocks will play out after the bell. So the important thing was for the IPO to be sold essentially the night before. And I think it was significantly oversubscribed, maybe 25 times oversubscribed. So the companies do get paid ahead of time, and that's all locked in. And after the bell rings, where the direction takes, obviously this much of an increase is a pleasant surprise to all of us involved, but that's kind of how it happened.
Let's go back a few years. Why did you first get into Circle?
Yeah, that's a great question. I remember, I think about 7 or 8 years ago, here not too far from these offices here, where our offices are actually, I attended a dinner with a number of people from the regulatory side, people from, I think, some crypto experts, even from the Federal Reserve. And during that dinner, anytime Circle's name came up, the sentiment was quite positive. So, obviously, cryptocurrency, blockchain, these subjects carry a nuance with them. But one of the things that we noticed was essentially Circle was sort of the grown-up in the room, and being on the positive side of regulatory things and compliance. Obviously, a U.S.-based company now. That was quite positive, but not to mention the technology that they're developing. Circle has some of the best blockchain cryptocurrency engineers in the world, along with some, maybe I have to mention Ripple as well, because we're a Ripple shareholder also.
Ooh, Ripple. Boop, boop, boop. Okay, sorry.
But these are best of the best engineers in the world working on amazing cutting-edge technology. And so the two things combined, along with, of course, we're a quant-driven firm, a number of other factors that we considered led us to that decision.
And now...
So you see, like, the host, when she started, it's like, oh, is this too cheap? Is this too cheap? Should be even, Again, like when they IPO, right? Just like he was explaining, the founders already got paid, everybody got paid, right? And so this is going to be a retail. Like when the public owns it, typically you are overpaid for it already. Now, unless the company could turn their profits and all that stuff, so typically you would want to short this thing, right? I'm kind of tempted to buy some puts over here. But it could rip the other way too, so just be careful. Not advocating that at all. The point is that there's on its way to trading so many multiples over here. Hold on, let me see if I. So enterprise volume like negative, like what the heck? Okay. Oh, good to me. Oh, operating income. Okay, so the operating income is pretty high, but why is the net income lower? Wonder why. Okay, that's not too bad. Not too bad. Okay, okay. Okay, not too bad. Okay, not too bad. But. What is the profit margin? Hold on. Let's see. Right? Line over here? Okay. Gross profit margin, 1%. Okay. Not much, you guys. Okay. Okay, net income there. Net income common. Why are they so low? Net income to common stock shareholder, right? Preferred dividends. Okay, so preferred dividend get most of it. Like what? So again, they have so much structure. They have it so structured so that the top people who are in on it the first deal, they get more of the pie. Okay, so yes, as an IPO, public can own it, but again, look at the profit, right? They carve it out so much for the insiders. Deduction made from the company network to account for dividends owed to preferred shareholder. Okay, preferred shareholder. So they have a tiers. Okay, I'm telling you. Okay, this is why I'm saying GME is the best. You know why? Because we have no tiers of shares, so that the top people get the best of the pie. I mean, look at it. Like they get 90%. Yeah, they get 90% of the pie. And then the common stock shareholder get only 10% of that. That's highway robbery, by the way. So no, why would I be owning this company while GME, you get the whole pie as a shareholder, right? Yes, Ryan Cohen owned a whole bunch, but he doesn't take any salary. And, right now, yes, we do have a tiered, but the convertible note, you don't pay anything for that privilege to own $1.5 billion of money for 5 years. So it's unmatched. Like when it comes to the best company to own, no match whatsoever. But anyway, to each its own. They will learn in due time. And this is actually misleading too. Like why they, well, I mean, people have to learn to read the balance sheet. And anyone who read this and see that it's like, it's fair to be a common stock shareholder, it's not. Yes, you're going to make some money. I'm not saying you won't, but majority of it goes to dividends for preferred shareholder, which is typically institutions. Yeah. Very, very interesting. Okay, so I don't have much. GME is the best. Of course. I mean, we don't have yet. I don't know if we are going to go that route where they have different structure of shares and preferred and notes and whatever, right? But we don't need to do that right now. But we might do that in the future in order to raise more money. Who knows? Or we won't. I mean, with Ryan Cohen, using his own money to buy into shares, every leadership has done that with their own money. So, and anyone who joined the board has to at least demonstrate that they have been adding, shareholder equity or shareholder value before they receive any reward. So that structure alone is pretty enticing, right? For people who understand the real value, of just having leadership that is aligned with shareholder. Yeah. So while Circle, I IPO is very positive for crypto space in general. I wouldn't own this company right now, at least at this price. I really think it's gonna come down to maybe $40, $50, even $30 before I would even look at it. Because again, IPO have a spike and then drop just a couple years after. So be careful if you're in on it. Yes, congratulations. 30% a day, that's pretty hefty there. And then still up in value of here after hours. But here's the thing though. Here's the point. This shows how much demand in the crypto space there is. Now, Circle is a stable coin for sure, company that has, some ties to Ethereum and the crypto that is used to, and also, like he said, Ripple, right? So Ripple is going to do well as a company and also the token as well. That's why XRP can be used for these type of settlements and stuff. So remain to be seen, you guys. This is exciting for crypto, even for Bitcoin as well. Like it's going to put Bitcoin on the map, and it's no longer about whether it's a scam anymore. It's gonna be like, okay, should we put it in your portfolio? Should you be even brave enough to add it to your portfolio? And that's gonna be an ongoing conversation. People are gonna deny it. People are gonna be saying things about Bitcoin and cryptocurrency in general. I'm not saying all cryptos are good, okay? Not at all, by far. The majority of all the coins out there are scammed. Really. Like they're not holding any value. But to say that every single one are scam, it's not correct either. So, of course, Bitcoin is not one of them. I think it's a scam. There's no CEO, there's no boards, there's no nothing. It's just a code, like I said. So a code that people agree to use and then the protocol that comes along with it. Anyway. Earnings around the corner. Of course, 4 more days, for sure. Hey, KCR, haven't seen you in a while. Been some time. Yes, I catch you live. Happy to be. Great. Anyway, so my nose is stuffy again. I need more cloves in my life. Little clove. Hold on, you guys. Let me try to gather some thought. I have one more point to put, but I'm like, where are those points? Okay. So with XRP, I did some tracking about the burning rates. Now it's pretty disappointing to me. I feel like it should be burned more. Why are they not using it? But again, as time goes on, this might change. But I did track it a little bit here. So, been tracking it since December, and right now it's June 5th. I haven't tracked for quite some time, so this is for today. And if I plug in that number right, only 797,000 being burned so far. So on average, we only burn around 4,000 a day. Okay, that's what it says there. And if we only burn 4,000 token a day, that means it's gonna take this much year, close to 58,000 years in order to burn this whole thing. So human years, obviously, it's negligible for sure. But the fact that it's deflationary, right? It's enough for the narrative to burn to go on. And so, but again, guys, like the more token it is, the more XRP could be used for different things, right? And my point is that XRP is designed, to transmit or to address a $10 trillion problem. Okay, so that's the narrative here. So whether it's going to be succeeding or not, even just 10% of $10 trillion, right? That's $1 trillion already. So not far-fetched to say that it might be able to reach 1% of that, right? If they're just achieving 1% of $10 trillion problem, that's $100 billion. Okay. So currently it is fully diluted. Oh, there you go. 1%. So yeah, we'll see. We'll see if they're going to be able to achieve it or not. I'm excited to, for Circle to be on the map now, and people are now learning more and more. Depends, right, on who you are. You might not want to touch this company, right, because it's Bitcoin company, no, a cryptocurrency company. But Gemini, am I? Gemini. I think my brain broke, you guys. Gemini is also going to IPO. That's what they're saying. So it's an exchange to buy Bitcoin or the other cryptocurrency. So with those coming about, I think, like I said, it's going to add more and more interest towards cryptocurrency for sure. So yeah, become more legitimized, and then NFTs coming. So future is bright, you guys. Come on, it's the best time to own GME for sure. Yeah. So yeah, I think that's all I have, you guys. Thank you so much for listening to my babbling. I'm not quite sure how many people are still here listening. But yeah, real quick, don't be surprised if come Monday we release the earnings early and then another dilution. Okay, so you've been warned. So that would be fun to see, right? All right, guys, I will let you go. Thank you for tuning in. And yeah, have a nice weekend, rest of the day. Good night.